Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Let's get started. A little early, but let's get started. I've got the first case here. Samolka?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor.
Morning. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. We're on the record in 22 PR 038591. The estate of Valmond Corby. If I could have all those who intend to testify raise their right hand to be sworn by the court. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
You're muted, ma'am.
My apologies, I do. And my siblings are still in the waiting room.
Who else is testifying on this case today?
Your Honor, we have the three siblings, Danielle Corby, Ronald Corby, and Simone Stewart. They're just here to waive the requirement of bond for their sister on the record.
Okay. Danielle Corby, who was the other one?
Ronald Corby and Simone Stewart.
Simone and Ronald, you need to turn your cameras on. All right.
All right, let's do that again. All those who intend to testify, raise your right hand. Each of you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Smolka, why don't you get us started?
Your Honor, thank you. First, if it's all right, court, before these nice folks go, I'd like to waive the requirement of bond. If
Ms. Smolka, your connection must be really bad. You're breaking in and out. We're only catching every other word.
okay, is this better?
Yes.
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 Okay. All right, I'll call Giselle Corby, please.
Proceed.
Good morning, Dr. Corby. Was your father Valmond Corby?
Yes.
All right. And did your father pass away last year on June the 15th, 2022?
June 5th. Yes.
The 5th. Okay, my apologies. And did your father reside in Rosenberg in Fort Bend County?
Yes.
All right. And did he leave a will dated May 27th, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. And did we file the original of the will that he signed with the county clerk?
Yes.
All right. And I'd like the judge, if possible, to take judicial notice that the original of the will was filed.
The court shall take judicial notice.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Dr. Corby, was the will revoked any time after your father signed it?
No.
All right. Was he still married to your mother at the time that he passed after he signed the will?
Yes.
But he never got divorced from her in that time period.
Never.
All right. And did he adopt any children or have any more children after the time that he signed his will?
No,
And before he died, he didn't have any more children.
no,
Okay. And are you asking this court that you can be independent executor of your father's estate?
yes,
And are you in fact qualified to be the executor of the estate?
yes.
Is there a need for the administration of the estate? Do we need to turn over title to assets and pay bills and things like that?
No.
We need to retitle some real estate. And
Oh,
things
yes, yes, sorry, yes.
That's administering the estate.
Sorry.
I have no further questions for Dr. Corby, Your Honor.
Okay, call your next witness.
I'd like to call Ronald Corby. Do we have Ronald?
He's here.
Oh, hi, Ronald.
Hi, hi, how are you? I'm here. I'm just trying to get the best Wi-Fi spot.
You're terrific. Thank you.
Okay.
Corby, in the event that Judge Morales appoints your sister, Dr. Giselle Corby, to be executor of the will, is it acceptable to you that your sister does not have to post a bond to do that job?
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
The Wi-Fi, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, please go ahead. I think my Wi-Fi kind of messed up.
Sure. Is it okay with you if Dr. Corby, your sister, does not post a bond as if she's appointed executor?
Yes, that is fine with me.
Thank you so much. I'd like to call Danielle Corby.
Yes, I'm here.
Danielle, thank you so much for showing up. Is it acceptable to you if Dr. Corby, your sister, does not post a bond in this matter if she's appointed executor?
That's acceptable. Yes.
Thank you. I'd like to call Simone Stewart.
Proceed.
Simone, thank you so much. Acceptable to you if your sister, if appointed executor, serves without bond?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to request that the court appoint Dr. Giselle Corby as independent executor of the estate of her father, Valmond Corby. And we'd like to ask the court waive the requirement of appraisers because the estate is non-taxable.
All right, the court heard the testimony of Giselle Corby. The court also heard testimony of Simone Stewart, Ronald Corby, and Danielle Corby. The court will admit the will and to probate and appoint Giselle Corby as independent executrix to serve without bond, and appraisers will be waived as well. I want to say I'm sorry for y'all's loss.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Mr. Corby was an extraordinary man.
They don't make them like that anymore.
Exactly.
Wow.
All right.
Again,
We're trying though. We're trying.
that's great. Again, my condolences. Ms.
Thank you.
Smolka, anything else for the record?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, y'all have a great day. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very
You
much.
as well.
Take care, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're on the record in 22 CPR 038616, the state of Lydia and Musil. Mr. Musil, if you'd raise your right hand to be sworn by the court.
Dad, raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I do.
Can we raise the volume on this thing?
I did.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, you got to swear in, Dad.
Yes, I do.
That's sufficient. He can lower his hand.
Okay, Dad, you can put your hand down.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Kurlik, why don't you get us started?
Thank you. And Adrian, I appreciate your assistance on this, but let's let your dad do the talking if you don't mind. So real quick, Mr. Musil, Ivan, can you please state your name for the record, sir?
Ivan Zdenko Musil.
And Mr. Musil, you are the husband of Lydia in Musil. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. And your wife, Lydia, she passed away on November 17th, 2022 of this year, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you lived with her at 4935 Latham Lane in Sugar Land, Fort Bend County. And you had lived there for a number of years, correct?
Yes, 22 years, I believe so.
Very good. And this was your fixed place of residence and your wife's fixed place of residence for the last 20 years, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to show you what we have provided to the court, which was the original will that your wife signed back in 2018. So, Your Honor, if I can share screen.
Proceed.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Musil, I'm showing you the will of Lydia in Musil. Do you recognize her signature and initials here at the bottom of the first page?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to take you through to the last page. One moment. Here on page 27, do you recognize your wife's signature with the date of 21st June 2018? Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the two witnesses signed in her presence and their signatures, all three of them, were notarized under oath, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And a necessity exists. I'm going to stop share, Your Honor. A necessity exists for the administration of this estate in that your wife had interest in several properties that need to be disposed, as well as some interest in some businesses that continue to operate. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, since 2018, your wife never revoked the will that she signed, correct?
Did never what? Again, please.
Sure. She did not revoke that will. In other words, she didn't set aside that will.
No, it says everything the way it was at the beginning. Yes.
Very good. And she did not have any children or were any children taken into your home after that date, correct?
No, sir. We didn't have it.
Okay. And you remained married at the time of her death. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And no state or governmental or charitable organization is named in that document, in that will, as a beneficiary, correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. And in that will, you were named as the independent executor to act on behalf of her estate, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there is nothing that would disqualify you from by law, from acting as independent executor. That is to say, you are not a convicted felon. You're over the age of 18. You've never been convicted of any crime involving moral turpitude, correct?
Correct.
Okay. We will offer the will of Lydia in Musil and submit the application of Mr. Musil to act as independent executor with power of sale.
Okay.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Court heard the testimony of Ivan Musil. He testified as to the proof of death, validity of the will, and other facts. The court will admit the will into probate and appoint Mr. Musil as independent executor to serve without bond, and the court will waive appraisers as well. Mr. Musil, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Kurlick, anything else for the record?
Not at this time, Your Honor. We'll submit the oath and the affidavit today.
Very good.
With that, maybe we be excused.
Yes, you may. Y'all have a great day and stay dry.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Freshwater.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Very good. Let me get your client to turn on your video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it?
We got it.
All right. We're on the record in 22 CPR 038561, the state of Richard E. Ziblaich. Blige. All those intend to testify, if you'd raise your right hand to be sworn by the court.
Hey, you need to unmute. That computer is muted.
This one?
But I guess I can hear through our speaker. It's okay.
All right. If you raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Freshwater, why don't you get us started?
All right. This Blake.
Oh,
We okay?
there's a
I think
echo.
I think you need to mute one computer.
Okay. I can mute this one.
Yeah. Now we can't hear you at all. So here's the biggest problem. I think the microphones are too close together on the two devices. If y'all could maybe get some distance between y'all, that might work.
Yeah.
Do you want me to have her skip back?
Yeah. If we could, here, let's just move the computer into it. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
My apologies.
Okay, we're gonna come to the other room. Okay. I'll have to follow you. Okay. I don't know where you're going. Over here.
This chair right here.
Okay. Okay, this is a short way.
Their computer is muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, the computer is.
I'll send them a request.
You should be good there then.
I'm trying. I'm right here.
All right. Sorry about that. Everybody. Blake,
good.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. And you're here on the estate of Richard E. Blake, correct?
Yes, uh-huh.
And Mr. Blake passed away on December 26, 2019, correct?
Correct.
And he passed away in Stafford, Fort Bend County.
Right.
Okay. Oh, my computer's messing up. Apologies. At the time of the decedent's death, Mr. Blake owned real property in the state of Texas and personal property, correct?
Yes. Right. Right.
Okay. All right. And let's talk about the will. Was Mr. Brown's will executed on April 11th, 1973?
His will was executed April.
Um,
1973.
yes, that's correct.
And that will has never been revoked, correct?
No,
Was any state, government, or charitable organization named by the will as a devisee?
no,
Did decedent apply for and receive Medicaid benefits on or after March 1st, 2005?
no,
Did you investigate the affairs of the decedent to the best of your ability?
I couldn't hear.
Did you investigate the affairs of the decedent to the best of your ability?
Yes,
To the best of your knowledge, are there any unpaid debts owing by the estate of the decedent?
no.
All right, that's all my questions. We'd like to have this will admitted for probate.
As a mutant of title.
Yeah, as a mutant of title. Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you asking that the affidavit of fulfillment of terms be waived as well, Counselor?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The court heard the testimony of Patricia Diane Blake. She testified as to the proof of death, validity of the will, and other facts. The court will admit the will into probate as a muniment of title, and I will waive the affidavit of fulfillment of terms as well. Ms. Blake, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
All
right. Mr. Freshwater, anything further for the record?
No, Your Honor. May we be dismissed?
You may. Have a great day. Stay dry.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Is that it? Oh, thank goodness.
Ms. Weisenthal, we're just waiting. Mr. Frank's having some issues. We're just waiting in for him to come in.
Thank you. Thank you. May I instruct my client and my other witness on bringing their camera up?
You may.
Okay, Joyce and Myra, would you please turn your cameras on and connect your audio?
I can see you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, is that Joyce?
Yeah, this is Joyce.
Yeah, please connect your video too.
Start video. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Oh, Lord, I know. Oh, okay, don't mind the hat.
Myra, please connect your audio. And Chanel also.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Chanel. Hey, Myra.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
We're waiting for our ad litem ladies. He's having a connection problem, but he's getting that taken care of.
Mr. Franks, are you there?
Yes, Judge.
All right, then. We're on the record in 22 CPR 037879, estate of Christy McIver. All those who intend to testify, if you would raise your right hand to be sworn by the court. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Ms. Weisenthal, let's start with the airship, and then after
Okay.
we've completed the airship, we'll move into the administration.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to start with Chanel. Chanel, would you please state your name for the court?
Chanel Jessup.
Okay, and how long did you know Christy McIver?
I've known Christy about 25 years now.
Okay,
Mhm.
and you're familiar with her family and marital history?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is it true that she died on January 5th of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
And that she died in Missouri City, Fort Bend County, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and at the time of her death, she was a resident of Missouri City, Fort Bend County, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, at the time of her death, she was married to Harrison Gordon Jr., is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and she had previously been married to Rico Thomas?
Yes,
Okay, and that marriage ended in 2010 in North Carolina?
that's correct.
Okay, can you please name her two children for me?
Zavion and Jayla.
Okay, did she have any other children besides Zavion and Jayla?
No,
Okay,
not biologically.
I'm sorry.
Not biologically. Harrison.
Okay.
had kids, yes.
Okay, Harrison had children.
Yes.
Did she claim any of his children as her own?
No,
Okay, all right. Did she ever adopt any other children?
no.
Okay. Is it true that she died without leaving a will?
From my understanding, yes.
Okay, do you know if there was a search done for the will?
Yes.
Okay, were you a part of that search?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and no will was found as far as you know?
That is correct.
Okay, did you ever have any discussions with her about doing a will?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And to the best of your knowledge, she didn't own any real property in Texas, but she has other personal property in Texas.
That's correct.
Okay, very good. I pass the witness.
Mr. Franks?
Yes, hi Chanel, this is Robert. We spoke on the phone. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Chanel, just a few quick questions and follow up to what counsel, Ms. Weisenthal had that. The decedent was married twice in her life to Mr. Thomas and then also to her last surviving spouse, correct?
Correct.
That would be Mr. Gordon.
Correct.
And Zavion's father, she was never married to, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you feel confident that based on your knowledge of her and the length and duration of your friendship, that had there been any marriages prior to Mr. Rico Thomas, that she would have alerted of that, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. No further questions for Chanel, Judge.
Ms. Weisenthal, call your next witness.
Thank you. I'd like to call Myra. Myra, would you please state your full name for the court?
Myra Logan.
Thank you. And is it true that you're personally familiar with the family and marital history of Christy McIver?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, and how long did you know Christy?
Roughly 20 years.
Okay, and how were you acquainted with her?
I would consider us best friends.
Okay. And is it true that at the time of her death, I'm sorry, please let me go back and check. Can you confirm that her date of death was January 5th of 2022?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and did she live in Missouri City, Fort Bend County at the time of her death?
Yes,
Okay, and is it true that she was married twice?
that's correct.
And was she married at the time of her death?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and what was her husband's name?
That's I'm sorry, Harrison Gordon Jr.
Oh, thank you. And she was previously married to Rico Thomas, is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. And can you tell me how many children she had?
2,
Okay. And can you name them, please?
Xavion and Jayla.
Okay. And did she ever have any other children or adopt any other children besides Xavion and Jayla?
No,
Okay. Did she ever take any other children into her home to raise?
no,
Okay. And is it true that she died without leaving a will?
as far as I know.
Okay. Do you know if there was a search done for a will?
I think there was.
Okay.
as far as I
Were you
know.
were you a part of that search?
No,
Okay. Did you ever talk to her about having a will?
no,
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, she did not own any real estate in Texas, but she did have personal property, correct?
that's correct.
All right, very good. No further questions for this witness. I pass.
Mr. Franks.
Thank you. Good morning, Myra. How are you doing?
Good morning. Good. And you?
Wonderful. Mrs. Weisenthal did a really good job of covering areas. And so I want to just follow up that based on the duration of your friendship and knowledge of the decedent's family history, there are no other children that you're aware of other than the 2 that were born to the decedent. Is that correct?
Outside of Harrison's children.
That's
That's
understood.
correct.
And she never adopted or represented Mr. Harrison's children to be her own.
That's correct.
Is that correct? Okay. And you believe that all the information in relation to her marital history and those children that are born to her have made their way to either Ms. Weisenthal or myself so that we could give an accurate picture of the familial history of the decedent. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Weisenthal, any further witnesses for the airship?
No, sir, I do not.
All right. Mr. Franks, do you have fees in this matter, and how much are they?
Yes, Your Honor. As addressed that with Ms. Weisenthal, we've agreed to the amount that is on deposit with the court, and I'll be submitting my order and getting Ms. Weisenthal the detailed invoice for the fees and services that are posted to the account. So that will be filed after the hearing, Judge.
Okay, very good. All right, then, after listening to testimony of Chanel Jessup and Myra Logan, the court finds the decedent died intestate, and there is clear and convincing evidence. The decedent's heirs are those listed in the judgment hearing airship. Now, Mr. Franks, I'm going to discharge you from your duties as attorney ad litem and award you that fee of $525, which is on deposit. Once you get that order in there, that fee will be transferred to you. Mr. Franks, you're free to go. I know you've got other hearings to get to. And then our 2 witnesses, Chanel and Myra, you're more than welcome to stick around, but you don't have to. You're free to go as well at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Weisenthal, why don't you call your next witness for the administration?
I'd like to call my applicant Joyce Maynor. Joyce, can you please state your full name for the court?
Joyce Maynor.
Okay, thank you. And how are you related to Christy McIver?
Christy's my daughter.
Thank you, Joyce. And is it true that she died on January 5th of 2022?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, take your time, Joyce. It's okay. And is it true that it has not been 4 years since the date of her death?
Yes.
Okay. Is it true that this court has jurisdiction and venue over her estate because she had a fixed place of residence in Fort Bend County, Texas?
Yes.
Thank you. And to the best of your knowledge, Christy died without a will. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. After she passed away, did you do a search for a will?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you obviously came up with nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. Thank you. And is it true that there is a necessity for the administration of her estate?
Okay. Is it true that there's a what now?
Sorry, is it true that there's a necessity to have an administration of her estate because of the
Oh, yes.
personal injury settlement?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much. And at the time of her death, she was married to Harrison Gordon Jr., is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and as she was also married to Rico Thomas,
Yes.
and that marriage ended in 2010 by divorce?
Yes.
Thank you. And she did not, let me see, sorry, I was a duplicate question. Is it true that the distributees have agreed on the advisability of you being the independent administrator of this estate?
Yes.
Okay, and is it true that you are qualified to be an independent administrator? And okay, good, thank you. And that you are entitled to such letters of administration?
Yes.
All right, thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. After listening to testimony of Joyce Manor, the court finds the decedent died intestate and there's a necessity for administration. The court will grant the request the applicant appoint Joyce Manor as independent administrator of the estate to serve without bond. Ms. Manor, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you very much.
And Ms. Weisenthal, is there anything else for the record?
No, sir.
All right. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe, stay dry. And thank you to the witnesses for coming on to help us take care of this today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We done?
I'm gonna get caught up on signing a few things. Ms. Davlin,
Present.
do you have your client with you there?
I do. I have Catherine Berry with me here.
Very good. Let me get the other witnesses on here.
Oh.
We'll get started shortly.
Hello, Michael Roberts.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and get started. We're on the record in 22 CPR 037898, estate of John Robert Berry. All those who intend to testify, if you'd raise your right hand to be sworn by the court. Each of you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide here today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
All right, very good. All right, Ms. Devlin, let's start with the airship. And then once we've completed the airship, we'll move into the administration.
Great, thank you, Judge. Ms. Berry, would you please state your name for the court?
Catherine Ann Berry.
You are the applicant seeking a determination of heirship in the estate of John Robert, correct?
Yes.
John Robert Berry was your brother, is that correct?
Yes.
He passed away on May 5th, 2022 in Fort Bend County, Texas, is that correct?
Yes.
He resided in Fort Bend County at the time of his death, is that correct?
Yes.
He died without leaving a will, is that correct?
Yes.
You are interested in John's estate, correct?
Yes.
John was preceded in death by your parents, Robert Matthew Berry and Patricia Marie Briner Berry, is that correct?
Yes.
John was never married and had no children, is that correct?
Yes.
John had no other siblings, is that correct?
Yes.
You are requesting a determination of heirship in his estate, is that correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Judge.
Ms. Barker, do you have any questions for Ms. Berry?
Just one or two. Are you aware of any claims of paternity brought against your brother?
No, ma'am.
Are you aware of anyone who could claim to be a common law wife of your brother?
No.
Are you aware of anyone who could claim to be a common law wife of your brother, such as a woman who lived with
No,
him?
ma'am.
I'll pass this witness.
No, ma'am.
Ms. Devlin, you may call your next witness.
We would like to call Michael Roberts.
Proceed. Ms.
Pardon me,
Devlin?
we're having some connectivity issues. Mr. Roberts, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Would you please state your name for the court?
Michael Gabriel Roberts.
Would you please state how you knew John Robert Berry?
He was a technician of mine for about 10 years. And so I worked.
And you are,
What's that?
pardon me, sorry,
It broke up. I can't hear you.
familiar with his family and marital history, is that correct?
Yes,
Oh, pardon me, I think we may be having some connectivity issues. You are familiar with his family and marital history, is that correct?
I am familiar. Yes, thank you.
Ms.
John
Devlin?
passed away on May 5th, 2022 in Fort Bend County, is that correct? Yes.
Ms. Devlin, could you repeat your question? You froze up.
Yes, I apologize. I think we may be having some connectivity issues in here. John passed away on May 5th, 2020.
Ms. Devlin, could you repeat it again?
Yes. John passed away on May 5th, 2022. Is that correct?
Correct. That is correct. John passed away May 5th, 2022.
Believe she froze.
Yeah, she's frozen right now.
He resided in Fort Bend County at the time of his death. And
Yes, John resided in Fort Bend County, time of his death.
are you aware that he left a will, or did he die without a will, to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, he had no will.
Okay. And you are not interested in John's estate, is that correct?
I am not interested in John's estate.
John was preceded in death by his parents, Robert Matthew Berry and Patricia Marie Briner Berry. Is that correct?
Correct.
He was never married and had
Ms. Devlin,
no
could you,
children. Is that correct?
Ms. Devlin, could you repeat that question?
John was never married and had no children. Is that correct?
That is correct to my understanding. All my knowledge.
Miss Berry, is that correct?
You need to
Repeat
repeat that.
Miss Berry was John's only sibling, is that correct?
To my understanding, that is correct.
Okay, no further questions.
Ms. Barker, proceed.
Okay. Mr. Roberts, did the decedent ever have any paternity claims as far as you know?
As far as I know, no, he didn't. Living.
Did he ever live with any women for a long period of time that could be claiming to be a common law wife?
Not that I know of.
Are you being paid for your testimony here today?
Absolutely not.
And since the last time we spoke on September 19th, has anything changed
No.
as far as the heirship, as far that he might have any other children?
No. Yeah, I do not know of any other children. He was living alone.
To your knowledge, did he ever raise any children in his home?
No.
I'll pass this witness.
All right. Ms. Davlin, you can call your next witness.
We'd like to call Ryan Prater.
You said Ryan, correct?
Yes.
All right. Proceed.
Would you please state your name for the court?
Yeah, my full name is Joe Ryan Prater. That's probably why there's confusion on my screen. So my legal name is Joe. I go by Ryan.
Thank you. Would you please state how you knew John Robert Berry?
He was my neighbor and friend.
John passed away on May 5th, 2022 in Fort Bend County. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And he was a resident of Fort Bend County at the time of his passing?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know of a will that Mr. Berry left?
Did not know of any will.
Okay. You are not interested in John's estate, correct?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Okay. John was preceded in death by his parents, Robert Matthew Berry and Patricia Marie Briner Berry. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Correct. John was never married and had no children. Is that correct to your knowledge?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Miss Berry was John's only sibling. Is that correct as well?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. No further questions.
Ms. Barker.
Mr. Prater, are you aware of any paternity actions brought against the decedent at any time?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Are you aware of any women who might be claiming to be a common law wife of the decedent?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, I'm not.
Are you being paid for your testimony here today?
No, ma'am.
Did he raise any children in his home that he could call his children?
No, ma'am, not that I'm aware of.
Did he ever adopt any children?
No, ma'am, not that I'm aware of.
I'll pass this witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Davlin, anything further for the heirship? Ms. Davlin, anything further?
I apologize, Judge. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. After listening to testimony of Catherine Ann Berry, Michael Roberts, and Joe Ryan Prater, the court finds by clear and convincing evidence the heirs are those listed in the judgment declaring heirship. Ms. Barker, I'm going to discharge you from your duties as attorney ad litem and award you a fee in the amount of $525. You are free to go. I know you've got other hearings to get to.
Thank you.
Thank you. The two witnesses who are here today, you are free to go, but you're more than welcome to stay on for the rest of the hearing if you'd like. All right, Ms. Davlin.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Y'all
you.
have a great day.
Have a good day.
Ms. Davlin, why don't you go ahead and proceed with the administration? Call Ms. Berry.
Miss Berry. Miss Berry, would you please state your name for the court?
Catherine Ann Berry.
You are the applicant seeking an independent administration in the estate of John Robert Berry. Is that correct?
Yes.
John was your brother. Is that correct?
Yes.
He passed away on May 5th, 2022 in Fort Bend County, Texas. Is that correct?
Yes.
He was a resident of Fort Bend County at the time of his death. Is that correct?
Yes.
He died without leaving a will. Is that correct?
Yes.
You are preceded in death by your parents, Robert Matthew Berry and Patricia Marie Briner Berry. Is that correct?
Yes.
Was never married and had no children. Is that correct?
Yes.
He had no other siblings. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your brother owned personal property having a probable value of more than $50,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your brother's estate has liabilities greater than $10,000 to your knowledge. Is that correct?
Yes.
An administration of his estate is necessary. Is that correct?
Yes.
You are requesting an independent administration of his estate so that no further action should be had other than the proof of publication and filing of an inventory or affidavit in lieu of same. Is that correct?
Yes.
You are entitled by law to receive letters of administration to your knowledge and are not disqualified from serving as personal representative of the estate, and you have never been convicted of a felony. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you requesting a waiver of the bond in this case?
Yes.
You are requesting the general power to sell estate property. Is that correct?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, there's no need for the appointment of appraisers in this estate. Is that correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor. We would request an appointment of Catherine Berry as independent administrator of the estate and letters of administration authorizing her to serve without the power to sell estate property.
I'm sorry, Ms. Devlin, authorizing her to serve.
To serve without bond and to grant her the power to sell estate property.
Thank you.
All right, after listening to testimony of Catherine Ann Berry, the court finds the decedent died intestate and there's a necessity for an administration. The court will grant the request of the applicant and appoint Ms. Berry as independent administrator of the estate. Ms. Berry, I'm very sorry for your loss. Y'all, I froze up there for a second. Anything further for the record, Ms. Davlin?
No, nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, y'all have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Craig, you there?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm very good. I'm trying to get your client to connect his audio so he can hear what's going on.
See if I can send him a text as well.
I've sent him a message through the chat function asking him to connect his audio. Why don't you text him as well and see if we can get him to connect?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Mr. Adams, we can hear you.
I'm sorry, I was there and I just had to work out the audio.
That's okay. Not a problem. It happens.
Mhm.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're on the record in 20 CPR 034471, estate of Jenica Wilson. Now, Mr. Craig, you have filed an order granting nunc-pro-tunc, and you're requesting that I make the declaration that the applicant Raymond Adams was married on or about November 27, 2010. Normally, a nunc-pro-tunc is designed to correct a date, fix the spelling of a name that was spelled incorrectly, not add additional statements within there. I mean, it's my belief that a declaratory judgment under these circumstances might be better. Or I have to go back and check. Yeah, I think a declaratory judgment is going to be your best bet. I mean, I've just never seen a nunc-pro-tunc used to add wholesale an entire sentence into a judgment. Usually it's correcting something that's on the judgment that was misspelled, or a date that was put in incorrectly, or something along those lines.
I understand, Your Honor. And this is a issue that I haven't had to address before previously in my career as an attorney.
Yeah.
I do fully understand the court's position. Like I said, I wasn't 100% sure if the nunc-pro-tunc would get us where we needed to go.
I think a declaratory judgment, you just file a declaratory judgment on this. We'll have a brief hearing on it, and that will take care of it.
Okay, Your Honor, if you could just bear with me 1 second to make sure I did not previously file that, because I did file some other pleadings.
Okay.
To get back.
Let me go back and check too.
No, I requested a show cause, Your Honor, back in November.
Mr. Craig, you're a little muffled. If you could repeat that last statement.
I requested a show cause hearing in November.
What was the show cause for him? Now I'm going back and I'm looking.
The underlying issue, Your Honor, is the transfer of the community interest to Mr. Adams regarding the real property, the house. And I was attempting to show cause, but it came to my attention that because the mortgage company was not a party, that you couldn't order them to specifically do anything. So that's why that kind of stalled out right there. And then based on the testimony being given by the witnesses, I thought the nunc-pro-tunc would get us there. But based on your statements at this hearing,
it's just the wrong vehicle to
no.
get it done. Yeah, it's not that it's not that you can't get it done, because you can. It's just you're utilizing the wrong vehicle through a nunc-pro-tunc. I think a declaratory judgment would be a more appropriate vehicle under the circumstances.
That's perfectly fine, Your Honor, and I understand. I appreciate the insight from the court, and I will do my diligence to draft and file the correct paperwork.
Okay, perfect. All right, Mr. Craig, thank you. You have a great day. Stay dry.
Thank you, Your Honor. You do the same.
We can leave. I can press the leave.